Mindfulness apps generate billions of dollars in revenue annually, often citing brain scan studies as proof of meditation's benefits. Some of this evidence is genuinely rigorous. A great deal of it is overstated, poorly controlled, or drawn from studies too small to support the sweeping claims built on top of them. Separating the real neuroscience of meditation from the marketing requires looking closely at study quality, not just headlines. Focused attention meditation, exemplified by many forms of breath-focused practice, trains practitioners to sustain attention on a single chosen object, typically the breath, while continuously monitoring for mind wandering and gently redirecting attention back when distraction occurs. This practice directly exercises the brain's attentional control networks, particularly circuits involving the anterior cingulate cortex and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which are responsible for detecting distraction and reorienting attention. Studies show measurable improvements in sustained attention task performance after focused attention meditation training, even over relatively brief training periods of several weeks. Open monitoring meditation, associated with mindfulness-based practices, involves cultivating a broad, non-judgmental awareness of whatever thoughts, sensations, or emotions arise moment to moment, without fixing attention on any single object and without reacting to or elaborating on what arises. This practice is theorized to reduce automatic emotional reactivity by training practitioners to notice thoughts and feelings as passing mental events rather than as demands requiring immediate reaction. Neuroimaging studies show open monitoring practice is associated with changes in emotion regulation circuitry, including altered amygdala reactivity to emotional stimuli. The default mode network is a set of interconnected brain regions, including the medial prefrontal cortex and posterior cingulate cortex, that becomes active during mind-wandering, self-referential thinking, and rumination, and that quiets down during externally focused, effortful tasks. Multiple studies find that experienced meditators show reduced default mode network activity during meditation compared to novices, along with altered connectivity between the default mode network and attention-related brain regions. This is theorized to reflect reduced mind-wandering and self-referential rumination, the kind of repetitive, often negative self-focused thought associated with depression and anxiety. Structural neuroimaging studies comparing long-term meditators, often with thousands of hours of cumulative practice, to non-meditators have found differences in cortical thickness in the prefrontal cortex, associated with attention and emotion regulation, and the insula, associated with interoceptive awareness, the perception of internal bodily states. These structural findings are intriguing but come with important caveats. Most studies are correlational and cross-sectional, comparing existing meditators to non-meditators rather than tracking the same individuals over time, and effect sizes in longitudinal training studies are typically considerably smaller than in these correlational comparisons. Rigorous meta-analyses, including a widely cited 2014 JAMA Internal Medicine Review, find that mindfulness meditation programs produce small to moderate improvements in anxiety, depression, and pain, effect sizes comparable to other active treatments like antidepressant medication for mild to moderate symptoms, but not evidence of a uniquely powerful or transformative intervention. Importantly, meta-analyses also found no strong evidence that meditation outperforms other active treatments or that it works through mechanisms fundamentally different from other stress reduction and attention training practices. The evidence supports meditation as one legitimate tool, not a superior cure-all. A substantial portion of meditation research suffers from well-documented methodological weaknesses, small sample sizes limiting statistical power, comparison to passive waitlist control groups rather than active comparison treatments, which inflates apparent effects, and researcher allegiance effects, where researchers personally invested in meditation practice may unconsciously bias study design and interpretation. High-quality studies using active control conditions, larger samples, and pre-registration consistently show smaller effects than earlier, less rigorous studies. This methodological reality, not a rejection of meditation's value, is why careful readers should exercise appropriate caution about specific dramatic claims made by wellness industry marketing. Meditation research offers a valuable case study in reading science carefully. Real, replicated effects on attention and emotion regulation exist, alongside genuine methodological weaknesses and popular overstatement. The take-home lesson extends beyond meditation itself. Separating legitimate neuroscience from marketing requires always asking about sample size, control conditions, and effect size, not just whether a brain scan was involved.